Hey guys, what's going on? Lever 2000 here. Welcome back to some more Cities Skylines. We are back in Leveropolis, whatever you want to call it. God, that's a dumb name, but that's what we went with. And if you have any suggestions, we can always change it. So we got Leversville, we've got Old Town. Now our population's getting close to 7,500 people, which is going to unlock some high density zoning options for us. And when we do, we want to have somewhere to zone that because we don't want to zone in areas with these like winding roads and stuff. So basically we have to build a downtown core. So that's what we're going to do today. Just so you know, and a couple other changes I made, I put in a cloverleaf intersection here just because the one I made was absolutely horrendous. And I figure we could end up expanding this way in the future. So I stuck this in here. I changed up this off-ramp a little bit. So now, oh, and if you see any vehicles out here, it's because I haven't unpaused it since I changed it. So that's what they're doing, sitting out in the middle of the field. They are not doing a custom field or anything out here. But anyway, I just kind of like made this this off-ramp a little more sleek too. And I merged it up into this road, which is going to lead into our industrial area. Aside from that, I haven't touched anything except making this square down here. And all I did with this square is make sure it's lined up with these roads here. So aside from that, I haven't touched anything. And we're just going to get to work on building our downtown core, we'll call it for now. So I've done a lot of research on this, and I think I know how I want to build this. So we're going to see how it works. For the most part, from what I've seen, traffic's really good when we build it like this. So we'll see how this goes. Basically, we're just going to try for symmetry in this, okay? So we got our square that we're going to start from. That's our starting point. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, over 2, back up with this road. You'll kind of get a better idea of what we're doing in a little bit here. I'm hoping it's going to work. I've tried in a couple of my other cities, but the thing with it is it's not actually a specific like design. You kind of just make it up as you go. The whole point of it is just to keep it symmetrical and not create too many bottlenecks for traffic. Now, with using just 2-lane roads, we aren't going to have any traffic light intersections. There's a lot of debate on, how viable that is or isn't, but for the most part, from what I've seen, it works pretty well. So having, like if we zoom in here, we can see that it's just a 4-way stop. There's no traffic lights, and it seems to work pretty well. So this is our little base here. This is how we're going to start. And then from there, we're basically just going to branch it out however we deem fit, I guess. So what I'm thinking is something like this, where we'll go 2. Okay, so we'll go over 2, over 2. And then we'll go straight across here. I'm just using this to get the right lines. Go over 2, over 2. Make sure that's a right angle. Same thing with this one, over 2. And the hope is that when this is all said and done, that we'll have a perfectly symmetrical area. As you can see in the large view, right now it's symmetrical. Now, why am I leaving this a different road type in the middle? Because we're actually not even going to keep it. So what we're going to do is actually bulldoze this right now, and I'll show you what my plan is for this. For this one, we're going to go one way, and I really hope that this works. It should. We're going to use the same tool to go on a diagonal, out 2, and then over 2, and it should create us as good of a traffic circle as we can hope for. There it is. Okay, so in the center we have a one-way traffic circle, and then branching off of that are these side roads that are going to lead outwards. And then I think to make it even more traffic efficient, we're going to try to add some more traffic circles on the outside here. I've never done that before. I don't know how that's going to work, but I'm thinking it might be pretty effective. That's my hope anyway. The first one I'm going to do is down here, and that's because it's going to connect to our highway here. So let's see how this goes. I really don't know if it's going to work or not. Try to do somewhat of a diagonal. Oh, these train tracks might interfere with this a little bit. Okay, let's get rid of this. I don't think if I demolish these, then I can't rebuild them right now because I don't have trains unlocked yet. Yeah, it's going to be a while for trains. I'm not too concerned about demolishing the tracks. It's not going to hurt us at all right now. So I think I'll be okay if I get rid of them. We'll just make some more room here. There, that's better. Okay, let's try this again. Actually, now that I think about it, where's our large circle? Just wondering if we can just like throw that in there and make things easier. Well, let's just build our own. Who cares? A little more challenging that way. Okay. So, all we have to do is go our diagonals 2 and 2s. And it should merge up pretty good. We're getting a little... this is actually too big. I don't want to go this big. I should have went 1. Try one more time here. I guess the issue is how wide this road is. I never really thought of that. I mean, we could make an identical one like this, but that's kind of big. You know what? Let's not do it on this one actually, because that's where our highway's going to connect, and I think we'll actually be okay if we leave that. Okay, so this is our basic shape that we got going right now. Maybe we'll look at adding circles in on the outside. I think I better look at that off camera and figure it out before I throw it in there. So we'll work on the other sides here first. So what I think we'll do actually is stick with these little curves that we got going here. So I'll do another one, and this is actually going to be pretty spaced out. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, and over. That should be perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, and over. Not enough money. Oh no. Okay, let's speed up time. Start making a little bit of money here. And also that's going to get our population climbing up a little bit. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, and over. And got enough. And this is our final one. Then we should have a pretty good looking shape here. Good thing we're making really good money right now. So there is our first basic shape for what our city's going to look like. Now we are going to add some things to this that actually really increase the efficiency of it. The first thing I'm going to do is just add some roads right straight across here for traffic. My biggest thing here is just not having any intersections too close together. And I found that this setup's actually okay for that. Now the second thing is to decrease our traffic. We can do something like adding some paths. Now I've developed a pretty cool path design, at least in my opinion, and I've had some pretty good success with it, I guess you could say. So I'll just show you here. Let's page up with this. Just have to try to get this straight. There we go. Okay, that's perfect. And then I'm going to delete a little bit of this. Should be good. We're going to go back to path. We're going to raise this one up. And page down. And connect it up with that. And there you can see we have our pretty symmetrical two paths that are raising up near the road here. So from there, what we're going to do, whoops, go back to parks. We are going to connect to this. We're going to come across the road. Again, we're going to page down. And we're going to go straight out like this. So there, now we have a walking path that starts out here, closer to the outskirts of our area. And then it comes up over this walkway right into the center. Now, as you can see, these paths are quite elevated for a while, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. And then again, it's going to raise up here. I just got to change my view here. It's going to come across the road. And then again, we're going to page down and go back to level. And draw. Oh, a little off on that one. That one's a little crooked looking to begin with. Not sure why. Okay, there we go. Yep, that should be good. Page down. Just make sure this is straight. That looks a little better. There we go. So when we zoom out here, we can see we got our straight line path straight through. Now we're going to do the exact same thing now, but going the other direction here. This really took me a lot more playing around when I was trying to figure it out, and it's simple, but at the same time it just gets a little frustrating trying to get the lines like perfectly straight. But I think I've got a pretty good system going for it now, so we'll see how this works. Somewhere right around there should be okay. And then we'll do the same thing here. So you can see, like, when I made that, it's a little bit off, but that's okay. We can correct that pretty easily. And I'll show you how after we finish these outer parts. Right, so we'll go across the road, we'll page down, and then we'll go straight out to here. Actually, let's go like that. There. We can hopefully shorten up these bridges a little bit. Okay, same thing with this one. And page down. There, and then flat. Okay, so there's our basic walking paths, and you know, I actually heard about a guy that built a city, and it had so many walking paths that there was zero traffic. There's no vehicles. You could literally walk everywhere in the city, and people in this game, if there's paths available, they will literally walk from, let's say, down here all the way to the farming empire over here. Like, they will go anywhere. So that's what I heard. I don't know if that's true or not, but word on the street is that that's what's up. So if that is the case, it's pretty cool, and it definitely makes building these paths worth it, because you can definitely reduce some of your traffic problems. Right now, I'm just trying to shorten these bridges up. Like so. There we go. Alright, so this is looking pretty good. And the only thing I really want to add to it, actually let's shorten these up too. Keep going to roads by accident. Alright, so we will do this one. This one. Alright, so the last thing I want to do is take our free tool here. Not sure why it's saying the space is already occupied. I know it is. I want it to be. We're just going to try to build a path right around the outside of this ring. There we go. So far, so good on this path. It's not going to be a perfect circle. It's going to be a little bit wonky, but honestly, it's not that big of a difference. And then we're going to take a new tool that that I got in a mod, which is our Paintbrush Tool. Actually, that's going to interfere with my my recording button. So we're going to do this the old way. And we're just going to fill in some trees, and then afterwards maybe I'll use the paintbrush tool. And I might have to change the key bindings for it. But anyway, we're just going to drop some trees in here, make it look a little better. And we got the foundation for our city. And let's get time going again. We're about to hit the population. There we go. We are big town now, and we have some big things happening. We've got all kinds of new policies. We've got the metro, which is a subway. We have level 5 unique buildings. We have all these high density zones and office zoning. And we have a university and incineration plant. All things we want to desperately add to our city. This is, for me so far, this is like my favorite milestone, I guess, when you start talking about the high density, because once we start laying down high density residential, our town is going to skyrocket in population. It's crazy how fast it jumps up now. And then on top of that, all the high density buildings are really cool, the offices. And then the incineration plant's going to help us deal with garbage. And the university is going to give us some smart citizens. So there we go. We have our little center of town done here. We have some walking paths, which I think they're just super cool. And you know what? I think we'll continue them right to the outside ring here. You know, why not? So we will literally just go continue. The only difference is I'm not making a bridge for these ones. But people can still, you know, maneuver them. And it won't be a big deal. We are just going to hold the game here, pause it for a second, just because now that we hit the high density, I just want to take a second here to get this this area built. So other things we need to worry about with this are we want to have a couple different routes into it at least. I think that I'm going to try to go with 3 different ones. I think we'll have this avenue come over here, and we'll have a couple connections into the city. I think we'll have this avenue stretch down here and have a couple connections into the city, and then we'll have highway access. I think that's our best bet. We're going to have to build an off-ramp here. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. There's a couple I mean, I could build a custom one. I could add like probably our best bet if we were going to use a pre-built one would just be the simple one, and we could have that coming off and attaching to the city. Let me just spin this around. We'd be looking at something like this coming off, but you know, it stretches pretty far, and I'm not really too sure about it right now. I have to think about it. So yeah, we might start with off-ramps and then maybe think of adding something else. But honestly, I think that our traffic flow in this city is going to be pretty good, and we're not going to need to worry too much, at least at the start, about it. You know, our roads are pretty well spread out here that I don't think we'll have too many problems, especially with 3 different entrances. But next episode, I think that we'll look at connecting those up. Maybe in between, I'll just set it up so we're ready to connect, and I'll just put a little thought into how we want to do it. And then, yeah, we'll be ready to zone this up and see how it works. And the other thing we'll have to do is get our services in this area, because we're not going to have very good coverage from the rest of our city, or our other towns, I should say. It's just a little too far, so this will have to have all its own services, but that's fine. That's what we were planning for anyway. And then also we could look at expanding even further outside this area, which I think would be pretty cool. But anyway, if you guys have any thoughts on it, be sure to let me know in the comments, because your input is really appreciated. I've been doing a little bit of streaming, and I've been getting some, sorry, I should specify that my streaming is on a different city. It's not in this one. But in the city that I'm creating on stream, I've got some really helpful comments, and you know, it's really affected the way I build my cities. So be sure to let me know in this if you'd like to see anything specific, or if there's anything I can change that you think would work better with our towns and this new downtown core here. So anyway, we'll wrap the episode up here. Leave me a like and a comment. I'd love to hear from you, and subscriptions are greatly appreciated. Until next time, guys, take care, and I'll see you again soon.